Okay. All right, we're going to start out with degrees, and then we'll go to radians.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I can't even pick that up either.
If you don't already have your colors, you probably need like 7 colors. Or if you're just content to do it in pencil, that's fine. But I'm going to make mine colorful. So.
I need to get some like tongs or
Tongs or tongs?
What? Pick stuff off the ground. I can't use that pen now.
All right, so always start out by labeling your axis.
Straight lines are not my straight. I'm so used to like them correcting that I don't make them very straight on the first time.
All right, so once you have those labeled, we'll start with degrees. So 0 degrees. Okay, and I'm not going to give as in-depth of an explanation since y'all have had this before. 30 degrees. 45 degrees. 60 degrees. Then 90 degrees. Okay, so remember, from an axis, it's always 30, and then the one that splits them is 15 between, so if you need to count it. So then the next one is 120 degrees, 135 degrees, 150 degrees, 180 degrees.
That does help drastically.
And then you keep going 210, 225, 240, 270, 300, 315, 330, and then all the way around is 360.
Cool. That looks so much better than last year already. Because I could erase my mistakes.
All right, so I'm going to do radians next. The biggest thing I'm going to warn you is that you have to label 0 degrees and 0 radians. A lot of people have just been putting 0 once. That's not getting all the pieces correct. Okay, I do account for, like, when I give you a quiz that's got 66 things on it, I only grade it out of 60. So you do have some room for error, but to get them technically correct, you have to have it in both places. So we start with 0 radians. Okay, I'm going to count around the ones that go in increments of pi over 6. Okay, first to just help you remember how to count them. And then we'll go back and do the pi over 4s in a minute. So this first one is pi over 6. Okay, so it's 1 pi over 6. You don't need to write the 1 though. This next line is 2 pi over 6, but we write it as pi over 3. Okay, so reduce them if you can.
You skipped one?
Yes, I said I'm going to skip the pi over 4s. So then that's 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, which is going to give us pi over 2. Then 4 pi over 6, which is going to give us 2 pi over 3. Then 5 pi over 6. And then 6 pi over 6 or pi. Then we keep counting around all the way. So then that was 6 pi over 6. So this is 7 pi over 6.
I remember first time when you just wrote them out, I was so confused as to how you knew this. And then it was just like, oh.
Then the next one is 8 pi over 6, which reduces to 4 pi over 3. That was 8 pi over 6. And this one is 9 pi over 6, or 3 pi over 2. Then 10 pi over 6, which is 5 pi over 3. Then 11 pi over 6. And then all the way back around is 12 pi over 6, or 2 pi. Okay, and I could do the same thing. I counted in increments of pi over 6, which also gives me my pi over 3s. Pi over 3s go in increments of 60 degrees. So I could also count it as 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 3, 6 pi over 3. So I could also count it that way if you wanted to do them individually. But if you do the pi over 6s, it's every 30 degrees, and then you also basically kill 2 birds with 1 stone on those ones. So next ones are the pi over 4s. Okay, so those are increments of 45 degrees. So here you're going to have pi over 4. Okay, then this would be 2 pi over 4, which was pi over 2. You already have that one written down. Let me focus this for a second. So then that was 2 pi over 4. So this is going to be 3 pi over 4. Then 4 pi over 4, which reduces just to pi. Then come down 5 pi over 4. Then 6 pi over 4, which we already have, reduces to 3 pi over 2. And then over here, you have 7 pi over 4. And then all the way back around, you get 8 pi over 4, which is 2 pi that we already have written there.
Is there nothing goes in between 270 and 300?
What do you mean? It's only 30 degrees.
Okay.
All right, so just as a reminder, okay, with what we're about to do, okay, we're going to be putting up our sine and cosine values. You can do this with your hand, okay? So each line matches up, okay? The values that go on that finger, okay, when you take it, so it's forward, backward, okay, so palm up. Those values, all you have to do is memorize them here, and then you just need to know the sign, positive or negative. So forward, backward, flip it upside down, and then flip it back. So if you memorize right here, all you have to know is what's true about x and y in each quadrant. And then you have it. Okay? So.
Kind of forgot how easy this is in the final.
Wait, the hand thing, is that for like cosine and stuff?
Yeah, for sine and cosine values.
I was thinking the radians, but I was like, that is not the same.
All right, and then just really quick, you don't need to write this part, but I just want to remind you how to figure out like approximately what things are. Okay, the square root of 3 over 2 is approximately equal to 0.866. The square root of 2 over 2 is approximately equal to 0.7. It's like 0.78 something. 707, there we go. 0.707, and then obviously 1/2 is 0.5. So Just keep that in mind as we're going around with what I'm about to show you. So then, what you can do is you come out to the point where this meets, okay? Remember that as far out as it can go, it can only be 1, so it's the unit circle. Okay, so these values out here, well, here, I'm just going to do it this way. This value is 1, 0. Okay, up here, it's 0, 1. And again, you do have to have these when you, that's part of the labeling. Over here is -1, 0. And then down here is 0, -1. Okay, so the farthest out you can be is at 1. So I can approximate in my mind, and I'm going to get rid of this line in a minute, so I don't want it on my thing, but I can approximate what these are equal to. I can't even see that.
No, still can't see it.
Okay, well, here, I'll just use my pencil and it's fine. Okay,
Kind of.
so apparently it likes it when it's on there. So I can see about where this falls, okay? So my x value falls about right here, okay? What value makes the most sense for my x value to be out of the 3 options I just gave you?
What were the 3 options?
The 0.866, 0.707. Okay, 0.866 because it's pretty close to 1. Okay, so that's going to be the square root of 3 over 2 is going to be our x value. Okay, and then I can do the same thing for the y value. That's pretty close to splitting it in half, so my y value is going to be 1/2. Okay. So let me get rid of these lines that y'all can't see for some reason. Not really sure why it won't show up, but whatever. That's the wrong color green. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to do all of the pi over 6's in blue. All right, so here we said that it is the square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Okay, and then if you lay your hand down on it, okay, that's your pointer finger, okay, that's on that. So if I take my hand and flip it over, that finger now lines up with 5 pi over 6. Okay, so the same numbers are going over here. Square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Okay, but in that quadrant, what's true about my x and y values?
X is negative.
X is negative, so it's negative root 3 over 2 and 1/2. I'm gonna see if I can
Which
change.
one's sine and which one's cosine again?
Sine is y. Cosine is
It's
x.
just that side.
Yeah, I think it's just because the picture's darker on that side. I don't know. All right, so we were forward, backward, now we're flipping down, okay? So the pointer finger now lines up at 7 pi over 6. So this one is still going to be root 3 over 2 and 1/2. But in this quadrant, what's true about x and y?
They're both negative.
Okay, both are negative here.
Good job, Ariel.
Yeah, Ariel.
The next one.
Okay, so we started here, went here, go down, and then flip backwards. Okay, so at 11 pi over 6, the values are the same. Root 3 over 2 and 1/2. What's true about x and y down here?
Negative 1/2.
Okay, y is negative, x is positive.
So it goes both positive, left negative, both negative, right positive. That's how you do it.
So we can also, because it's going to be important in a minute, okay, up here, I'm going to write in, okay, that I'm going to also get rid of all this because it just doesn't need to be there. In quadrant 1, okay, this is Both are positive. Okay, over here, x is negative, y is positive. Down here, both are negative. And then over here, x is positive, y is negative. All right, so then I'm going to do my pi over 3's next because the pi over 4's are the easiest ones. Let's see, what color do I want? Purple, sounds great. All right, so at pi over 3, okay, this is kind of the reverse of the pi over 6's, okay? It comes down here. That's hitting about halfway through, so my x values are 1/2. But now my y values, okay, are almost all the way to 1, so they've got to be the root 3 over 2. So x is 1/2, y is root 3 over 2. Okay, and both are positive in that quadrant. Next, we have over here at 2 pi over 3, okay? So this time you're looking at your ring finger. So when you flip it backwards, your ring finger falls at 2 pi over 3. So that is also 1/2 and root 3 over 2 with my 1/2 being negative. Okay, because my x values are negative here. Okay, so then flip it down. So the next one is at 4 pi over 3. So they're both negative, so it's negative 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. Then at 5 pi over 3 is the next one. X is positive, y is negative, so 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. All right, so then the pi over 4's are the easiest ones, okay, because they're a little beyond halfway, but not all the way out. So those are going to be your root 2 over 2, okay, in both directions. So that one, that's why I said it's the easiest one. They're all root 2 over 2. And then the signs just change with them. Nope. Still have to put tangent values on here. Okay, now tangent is what?
1.
Well, for one of them it is, or, well,
That's all
4
I
of them. But tangent in general, in terms of x and y, tangent is what? Or in terms of sine and cosine, what is
I just
tangent?
remember that one of them
Sine
was
over
3
cosine.
sometimes.
Yep, sine over cosine, so y over x. Okay, so I could sit here and do y over x for every single one of them and figure them out, okay? It would be like for the first one, 1/2 divided by root 3 over 2. Okay, so here, I'll do it on the side just for a second. So 1/2 over root 3 over 2. And then you would have 1/2 times 2 over root 3. 2's are canceling, so you have 1 over root 3, but you can't leave it that way. So then multiply by root 3 over root 3, so you'd end up with root 3 over 3. Okay, so that's how you would find them. I'm not going to leave that there. You can also just memorize them, but if you forget how to find them, that's what you do. So my tangent values... All right, so all of my pi over 6's, okay, are root 3 over 3. Okay, and we'll talk about the signs of them in just a second. Okay, now, because it's y over x, okay, the first one is positive over positive, so it stays positive. This one over here is positive over negative, so it is negative.
Next one's positive.
Okay, negative over negative is positive, and then over here, negative over positive is negative. Okay, so in these two quadrants here, tangent values are all going to be negative. Okay, in these two quadrants, they're all going to be positive. So then, my root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, okay, flip that over, so root 3 over 2 times 2, 2's cancel, so it's just root 3. So all your purple ones are well, for me they're purple. Anyways, the pi over 3's are all the square root of 3. And then obviously keep the sign with them that they're supposed to be. And then lastly, the pi over 4's, okay, root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2 is root 2 over 2 times 2 over root 2. Everything cancels. And so then you just have 1.
That's it.
Not yet. We haven't done the tangent values on the axis yet. Okay, so y over x. So out here, 0 over 1 is what? 0. Okay, and it's going to be the same thing over here. 0 divided by negative 1 is still just 0. Okay, but 1 divided by 0 is what? Undefined. Okay, and then negative 1 divided by 0 is also undefined. Make sense?
Yeah.
Can you leave that up there for a minute?
Sweet. Yeah, I'm just going to stop the